Hello everybody, this is Forward Solstice 25, Winter Solstice 8, and today, I've finally done it. I made my Mirage. Oh. That could have been dangerous. Now, I haven't actually looked too much into builds. Like, I tried to find usable builds and such for this, specifically for using the axe, and I don't know, I just haven't really seen anything that really stood out, especially for the sake of conditioned image. So it's a little more gonna be me actually having to figure this out, you know, like from if it's actually worth it or not
Time to do some real damage. Feel the fury. I feel good.
Your gods have abandoned
Leave them alone. You're not
Our
fooling
god is
anyone.
here. Death to blasphemers! Eternal.
So I think I'm getting a bit of this down. Okay, so 2 with the axe basically creates clones and does a swipe attack. 3 teleports me to a random location across a target, and any clones I have, it also teleports them around and about also. And in turn we can do a joint group attack. Honestly, it's half modest. I think I still need to do a bit of experimenting with it. Though it really hasn't been too bad. Not at all. Like, this is really fun.
I neither hear nor there. Throw like sand.
So I've built this with Condi, but I'm not sure if that's entirely what I want to be doing. Like, according to the attacks, it seems like the way to go. Although, to be fair, part where it says damage X2 at mirror strikes, that does have me a little concerned on that part. I don't know. But the bottom seems more redeeming on that factor, as well as these two. Like the Torment stacks, Cripple, more Torment. I mean, that's really decent. Like, I could technically build this character slightly better where their gear, like, turns toughness to Condi. I'm trying to think if that's a sigil or rune that does that. I have to actually double check, but yeah, and that in turn that would make Dire pretty nice. Isn't that right? Otherwise, I really don't notice anything too wrong with using an axe. So yeah, there's that. Against standard enemies, it's not a problem at all. I wish this was a cat for home instance. Just because I seen it's a cat. Let's try killing another thing.
Return to redeem us. Fight for him.
Actually, let's switch this out. So this is similar to the 3 skill, only it's one less bit of effect to it, where it just sort of shuffles you.
Cormier left us
Don't
behind
listen to this
suffer and
fanatic.
die. Cormier's divine death to blasphemers.
So it shuffles you, but it doesn't force the all-out attack effect. But it's still half modestly decent, realistically. So it's I can't really complain. Now, when it comes to the Elite special skill, I almost said specialization, I have mixed feelings about it. I mean, that's half modest confusion damage, and it moves you around, and it has an initial damage. But this has chill with it, and it's affected by my presence. You know, there was a person that was telling me that anyone who uses racial skills, they should probably just uninstall the game. I don't know. I mean, I think that would be more worthwhile with the chill effect. Though not so much with the cooldown factor of it. Like, the cooldown would be the only issue. So it would probably be only like a short, heavy fight. Otherwise, if you're going for a constant, you would probably going more for something like this. Nah, that doesn't appeal to me too much. But otherwise, if you want survival, I guess this would be a partial thing also. Like heavy survival. Like if it's less about the damage you're worried about, but more so trying to stay alive. So yeah, if you're going heavy and short, these are probably more preferable to you. Otherwise, if you're going for long-term constant, this is going to work for you fine and more ideally.
Fights for all of us. Will you join him on the battlefield?
Or at least that's what I'm making out of that.
Our God is here. Join the Zaishin. Pledge to Balthazar while you still can.
Yeah, but if someone says stuff like that, I cannot not doubt it. I've just seen too many silly things, and I just realized there's an actual ideal applicability to things. And sometimes it's just plain out ignored. Something Mesmer class itself is supposed to be recognized for is mirrors, because they're supposed to be an illusion-based class. So, let's see, this supposedly leaves a mirror after a certain amount of time. Let's see, this is supposed to set a mirror with you backing up. This is like a reverse version of a trap. Rather than an enemy setting it off, you set it off. And when you set it off, it gives you an effect. Now, why you would want a skill that works that way, I don't know. Like, rather than just having an immediate buff, like press button, buff. I mean, you get the backward dodging. But otherwise, that just gave me regeneration. And also some amount of, like, whatever else it shows in this. Mirage Cloak gives weakness to enemies. And it's supposed to be spec'd where when I run through it, it's supposed to give me a brief, sort of like a swiftness boost. But yeah, that's a bit iffy of a thing. Like, personally, I don't care about swiftness, is how I am in playstyle. I don't see the practicality of it, especially when you have all these skills that move you already. It's like, why are you going to focus in movement when you could be focusing in practicalities? This one I haven't actually messed with. Let's test this.
Replenish.
So that messes with them and also forms the mirror for me to break for useful small effect. One of the odd effects of the class is that instead of just a regular dodge, you get the Mirage evasion effect, where you hold still, and it's supposed to keep you safe and secure.
Time to do some real damage.
I guess that could be useful to that kind of scenario, but that's so far been the only practical use I've seen out of mirrors, is that you would be able to run through a dangerous zone for a quick couple seconds to cross it to safety. So I think that would actually be useful for achievements in story mode, is what I'm gathering. Otherwise, I don't know. I think personally, personally I've been leaning towards these two a bit. Like this one is a lot like the Thief Shadow Step, where you can go towards a target and then teleport back. Only it also gives me a Mirage Cloak. Otherwise, this might also become a possible idea, if I care enough to. Actually, I'm probably still looking at it the wrong way. What's nice about this is that it's ammo based. Other than that, it's mostly just a small amount of damage with a teleport, is what I don't like about it. Dang it! Right what I'm trying to change. So one of the pros to this is that it gives Mesmer a new ability to keep up in a more melee range with enemies. The cons is, it's more melee range is what the real con is. Otherwise, it's pretty cool, I would say. I actually quite thoroughly enjoy it, especially this part.
Doesn't it?
So I guess a way to kind of describe it is if Mesmer was a little more like Revenant. Like say using Sword 3 for Revenant. It's a lot like that. Only you also have the sense of traps also that aren't really traps. It's almost pointless when you think about it like that. It's like, why not just have the buffs or something? Why not just have this? But that's not a fun mechanic, I guess, is what they were going for with that. Otherwise, if you try to make sense with it, you're not going to really come up with anything that counts as an answer. Or so I found out. And it makes it more different, more unique, and in turn more different and interesting to try as an approach. So yeah, as I was talking about, I have not really seen any builds pertaining to using axe for this, and I think part of the reason is because people don't really like relying on using an axe for like up close all time Condi, or at the very least they haven't given a real build attempt for it yet a chance. Otherwise, people have been doing Scepter Torch, I find, when it comes to condition damage for the Mirage type. Oh, that's the race, okay. So I'm confident that's partially why. It's because Scepter Torch was already pretty decent. But, yeah. Otherwise, with that, they would just be focusing on making as many clones as they could and doing their shatters. So I guess it works for them. But I still think there's some potential that can be looked into and even better invested into. Like, I think what could be done is, I recall seeing certain bosses having those zones where it's like, there's an inner ring and then an outer ring. I think it'll be a good countermeasure for the inner ring factor versus just, the typical Scepter Torch factor. I mean, Torch would be decent. I mean, I'm equipped with it right now. But you can't really do too much with Torch with the outer ring. So I'm thinking this might be part compromise for that, finally. Versus always being so just playing up close with ranged ability and hoping you don't get hurt too badly. So I'm thinking that might be something to really look into. I know I'm definitely going to look into it. If anyone has seen this and knows a few things, feel free to talk about it down in the comments. I'm all ears. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm Fallen Solstice 25, Winter Solstice 8, and you have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye.